A controversial sand mine is on its way to Levy County after a vote this evening in Bronson.
TV 20's Hawa Izell explains why so many residents are furious about the decision.
They started excavating before they were even approved.
In a decision postponed from December, Levy County commissioners approved the controversial sand mine proposal in less than an hour without allowing public comment at this meeting, leaving residents outraged.
The adjoining properties that surround the mine area and will be impacted by the high traffic, they pay almost $500,000 in taxes. So the county commissioners really need to listen to the citizens who are providing the tax dollars.
Multiple residents expressed their concern for the impact the project will have on the environment, the traffic, and the noise it will cause. But commissioners say they added 22 conditions to closely regulate the mine.
The noise that's created by a sand mine, surface sand mine, and all the diesel-fueled equipment is actually going to create a noise that's above the legal level as according to the Levy County Code, which is allowing up to 65 decibels. We're expecting over 105.
Residents who live in Rainbow Springs are highly concerned about the agricultural runoff the sand mine could cause.
We're all downstream from that. Anything that goes into the air here or into the ground here ends up in the aquifer and comes out in Rainbow Springs.
The sand mine is said to be less than 600 feet from the UF Rosemary Hill Observatory.
They didn't care about all the turtles that are in the neighborhood right next to them at the observatory. What about the observatory? This is going to just knock it out.
Residents also expressed concern for the hours of operations, which would be 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Commissioners say they'd like to shorten the proposed hours of operation before the project begins. Hawa Izell, TV 20 News.